An absolute powerhouse of a guitar. Let's go back to the 80s. Can it really get much cooler than that? So you see, if I spin it for you, you can see all the three-dimensional movement in that top. This might just be one of the most high-spec, blinged out miners John and I ever did. And if you like purple, it doesn't really get much more than that. Cool, right, time for another unboxing video, guys. Today we're going to be looking at miners guitars. Now, if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you'll have seen that a few years back now, I think it's 4 or 5, John and the team went over to Miners in Poland to spec out a few things, and since then we've had an incredible relationship with the guys. In fact, one of my favourite parts of my job is working with Matt and the team at Miners to design some custom colours and some cool, unique specs you don't normally find on their guitars. So today we're going to look at a few new arrivals that have been arriving over the last 3 or 4 weeks or so, and a few other pieces that have been in stock for a little while but need your attention. Right, first of all, we're starting with a model in a gig bag. So if you're a fan of Miners, you know this can only mean one of 2 things. Oh yeah, look at the finish on that one. This is one that I remember spending a little bit of time designing with our good friend Matt at Miners. A few years back we had a Regius model in this colour, which is called Lava Burst. That was a gloss top, and the top just looked really incredible, really three-dimensional. And we thought on this one we'd try going for a satin finish just to see what it would look like. And it was all a bit of fun, really. And I think the finished piece was incredible. And we'll look at some specs. Because I remember we went for quite a stripped back approach on this. So this model has got a 4A quilt maple top with a Kai mahogany body, Lava Burst satin finish, like I said, and the new Miners Velvetrone pickup. So Velvetrone sets, in fact it's the iron side and the solium. These are all wound in-house by Miners, which they used to do back in the day, but they recently reintroduced last year. So it's good to see that back on the models. Next up, we've got a hard-cased model. So it looks like we've got a Regius coming in. Lovely Hiscox case on these, nice and secure. Oh yeah, nice horizon finish. Typical Miners with a nice black stain over the flame maple into the purple. Pale Moon Ebony Fingerboard with purple binding. Make sure you can get a nice look at this. And if you spin it around, you'll notice on a Regius model you have the neck through. So roasted maple into what looks like roasted ash, American ash I believe. And yeah, an absolute powerhouse of a guitar. Move on to the next one. What do we have here then? Another gig bag. This is our first Aquila Elite S model we'll be looking at today. So this model was debuted a few years back, it's gone through a few revisions, and this version, as I said, is the Elite S. So no pickguard, twin humbucker, dot inlays, 12-inch radius, and this is actually a custom colour finish that John, myself and Matt designed. Over a little bit of time, we sent through a few reference images, and we ultimately settled on this stunning green into yellow burst, with a roasted body, Wenge neck, and we love it. Silver hardware, nickel hardware, 5-way switch, pretty simple. Moving on to the next model, another gig bag. Really sturdy gig bag as well. A lot of people in the industry seem to think gig bag guitars aren't as good as hard case, but do you really want to lug a hard case around every day? These are great. Now, if anyone knows me, this is a model very dear to my heart. This is the Adam Christianson Aquila Cardinal. For those who don't know, Adam is the guitarist in UK band Architects, incredible player, good friend of ours, and this is his signature model, the Cardinal. Very simple, again playing off the Aquila model that we just saw, but with an all swamp ash body, maple neck, ebony board, bolt on as normal, and with 2 TKO pickups. Model comes in a baritone spec 27-inch scale. We have the standard 25.5 scale, I believe, 25.4. And both are super resonant. The ash, really punchy, especially when you're playing in drop B or double drop G, as Architects do in some riffs. Allows you to really cut through, and it's just the perfect guitar for him, really. And we're really glad to have them in stock. Moving on, what do we have now? Black feather Duvell on this one. This is actually, cool story, one of the first finish options I ever saw here at Peach when I first started about 4 or 5 years ago. One of the first guitars that the guys spec'd out when they went to the factory, they picked out the wood, was a black feather. So you see, if I spin it for you, you can see all the three-dimensional movement in that top. And I believe this is a 4A flame maple on this. And it's really cool because you can see the dark areas where the stain has seeped into the maple, but where they've sanded away to reveal some of the maple underneath, you do get this real contrast of the light colour coming back through. Works really well with the Kaya mahogany body as well. Bolt on, super snappy. Wenge purple heart neck, really resonant, really punchy. You can see this case, if you're eagle-eyed, is a little bit smaller. I won't try and hide what it is, because as you'll see on the case, it is nicely written to make life even easier. And that is, of course, a Hydra. Now, let's go back to the 80s. Headless model. Can it really get much cooler than that? Liquid red finish, and on this, we can get some detail shots. It has the raw option. So what that means is the eye poplar top that's on the guitar is not stabilized. So you have all these tiny little holes, pitting almost, little pit marks, that aren't stabilized before the top has gone onto the guitar. It's a really cool little detail. I think it works really well, especially on this guitar. And I think the color works really well as well. Again, bolt-on Wenge neck with 2 purple heart strips going through. Super simple. Yeah, classic. Up next, another gig bag. As you can tell, a lot of the Mayones models, especially the Duvells we have in stock, in fact all the Duvells we have in stock are gig bagged. We do have some hard case Regius, as we'll see in a bit. Oh yeah. Talking about that Pale Moon Ebony fingerboard from before. This might just be one of the most high-spec, blinged-out Mayones John and I ever did. In fact, these were ordered as a pair, custom colour ones. We have this lovely blue into natural burst, and a few years back, if you remember on our channel or on the website, we had a green version, a lovely dark green burst into a natural centre, but again with a Pale Moon Ebony fingerboard. Identical specs, and on the back you'll see black limber. One of our favourite tone woods here at Peach. We order it on just about everything that we can. In fact, Mayones had a whole BL Black Limber series, which is by far one of our most popular Mayones models over the years. But the figuring on the fingerboard, just stunning. Lovely natural beauty of the wood showing through. And again, with the black limber body as well. Just sort of a perfect pairing, these two. And of course, you've got to put a lovely stain on it. And a beautiful quilt maple top as well. Looks like another Regius up next. I must say, it is very fun looking back through these guitars. As I said earlier, one of my favourite parts of my job is ordering these guitars. And some of these are recent, some of them have been here maybe a couple of months and just haven't perhaps got the attention that they deserve. So looking back through and seeing these again, after a little while, the wow factor certainly kicks back in. I know we shouldn't have favourites, but these are mine. Oh yeah. If you're a metaler, this might be your dream. Look at that. All blacked out Regius 7-string with a lovely roasted maple fingerboard. Roasted is an option. In fact, it's called the TEW, Tonally Enhanced Wood Program that Mayones do. It's another word for roasting. They get all the moisture out, stabilises the guitar, stabilises the wood, really rigid and strong, helps with the humidity and temperature changes when travelling. And it works on this perfectly as well, with it being a neck through, really stable, really resonant all the way through with the wings attached. And it's just kind of the perfect guitar. This actually reminds me of one that I believe Rick from Polaris has had, or certainly used back in the past, with a lovely black stain over a quilt maple top. Again, hip shot bridge, neck through, but with the white binding and the all black stain. Really stealthy, really slick. Getting closer to the end now. A few more models. I think we had about 14 or 15 to show you today, but don't let that fool you. We have a lot of incredible guitars in stock at the moment. We're only really showing you kind of a handful, maybe a dozen of what we've got in stock. Like I said, we order for the shop, but if there was something you wanted to order as custom, that is something we do. Get in contact with the team. You can email us, call us, come down, and we can design whatever you want. But that will mean that I don't get to have all the fun. Talking about metalers, this is another one that will catch your eye. Fan fret, or as it's actually known, Duvell Elite VF, VF meaning variable frets, variable scale length. Changes on the bottom strings and the top strings, which is perfect for when you're playing a low tuning. This is a 7-string model, so it will come in B standard, but if you're dropping anywhere down, you want that extended scale. Sometimes you can find on a 25.5, 25.4, that playing low gets a little bit flubby, not as precise as you'd like it to be. The extended scale just makes that a lot easier. Playing low, having the bolt-on neck is always good as well, bit more snappy attack. Wenge neck with 2 strips of purple heart, super stable, mahogany body, classic design. Eye poplar top with a lovely blue satin stain. And again, this is a raw finish, as I spoke about earlier. Lots of little small pitting marks, hopefully you can see that. If not, all of these guitars are on the website where you can see them in detail. In fact, a fun little bonus fact for you. Click on the website, click the photo and go into a super zoom. You can scroll the full resolution that we shoot at. You can see all the small marks, in the case of relic guitars, all the cracking. But on this, hopefully you'll be able to see all these small little details. Another gig bag, Duvell coming up. What do we have inside this one? Duvell Elite 6 in a lovely blue gloss. Simple, what's not to love? Gloss finish with a satin back, satin neck, of course, don't know if I mentioned that earlier. All of the Duvell Elite models with the Wenge Purple Heart will be satin. Really easy to navigate. But let's go back to the front. Absolutely stunning quilt maple top. You can't really get much better than that. You can see lots of greens coming through, lots of blues. And it really will move in the light. Hopefully that'll be coming through. If not, like I said before, head over to the website. You'll see all the details. And the exposed flame binding as well. You know, it's the small little details that a lot of other companies just don't think about. And like I said, I know I'm biased, but Mayones do it, and it's worth it. Mahogany body, really resonant, bolt-on, snappy. Yeah. Last gig bag model, Duvell Elite, I believe. I think it's only the one Hydra we have in stock, but if that last one wasn't your pick, you can always order one. You can always speak to us and we will help you. What's inside the bag? Aquila Elite 6. A very stealthy model. Again, this is one that I work closely with Matt. In fact, we saw a very similar build, a little bit different, but very similar on social media. I believe it was on their social media probably 2 years ago now. We saw it, we spoke about it for a little while, and we took inspiration from it, but we wanted the top to be a little bit darker. The one we saw was a little bit more lighter blue, and we really wanted to get sort of a deep, sort of ocean wave-like feel to the guitar. And after a little bit of back and forth, we settled on this. It's a custom colour, 1 of 1. Satin finish, again, really smooth, not going to get sticky at all. And again, my favourite, black limber body. Really resonant, super punchy, clear, articulate, bolt on, as all Aquila models are. Solid Wenge neck, no purple heart on this one. Locking tuners, don't know if we mentioned that earlier, but all Mayones models will have locking tuners. Quality hardware across the board. Classic tremolo system, all blacked out. Super stealthy. The idea was to sort of go kind of leaning into the metal world. That's kind of where I lean, it's where Matt leans. But it's refined, it's slick. It can do anything, you know. That's the thing with all these guitars. The Mayones definitely do lean into the sort of metal, high performance world. But you can cover so much ground with them. I think this model really represents that. Really just slick, high performance guitar. Yeah, you'll love it. Final guitar, have we saved the best till last? Of course, it is objective, but we shall see. Let us know in the comments below what's been your favourite so far. Is it going to be this one? Let us know. Well, if you like purple, doesn't really get much more than that. Regius core. Don't know if we spoke about that earlier. We have the Regius, which is a standard body carve, a little bit more flat, and you have the core, which this model is it has a carved top. Hopefully we can see that, demonstrate that on camera. A little bit more three-dimensional to the top, to the whole body in general really. And they have a slightly unique neck carve and the heel joint here, which is super comfortable to play. But I've always found with a lot of companies that do more kind of carved tops, not naming names, that when you get to the edge, you tend to lose a little bit of definition from the figured maple. Of course, they're cutting more into the top, so you're going to lose a little bit more. But with the quality of timber that Mayones are using, I've never really seen it. There's always really prominent figuring from the very center to the very edge. All the way, no dropping outs, no fading away. Really prominent, really good. Purple finish, purple burst, lovely natural center, with the white binding around the edge, which really makes it pop, I find. Lots of options, but sometimes you can go pearl, you can go perloid, you can go acrylic, but sometimes just a standard white really just makes it pop and stand out, especially when you have an antique black back on this guitar. So they've stained the back of the guitar just as well as the front. It's beautiful from just about every angle. Get your full spin on that. Again, 11 ply neck all the way through with the wings attached on the side. The pickups are direct mounted to the neck all the way through this center piece, all the way through, and then the quilt maple top is applied on top. Simple, one volume, 5-way blade, classic guitar. Birdseye maple neck, abalone inlays, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, that's a pretty good one to end on. Now, that is all the guitars we'll be looking at today. As I said earlier, this is probably around about a dozen of the about 30, 35 guitars we currently have in stock. Loads more on order. Like I said, we're all experts about Mayones here. Our sales team can help you order just about anything that you want. If you've seen something that you like, let us know. Our team are trained, they'll help you through it. They'll find the right one for you. But if you want to go a little bit more custom, of course, let's not forget Mayones are a custom shop. If you can dream it, they'll build it. It pretty much is as simple as that. Get in contact with the team, we'll talk you through the process, and we'll get building your guitar. If you enjoyed the video today, make sure to drop us a comment below. Let me know what guitar was your favorite. What would you have ordered different? Is there a guitar you would change? Is there a guitar that you would build completely from scratch? Let us know in the comment section. Drop a like, hit the bell, and we'll see you next time.